'cause I'm dead, it doesn't mean I'm not around anymore. Just 'cause I'm dead, it doesn't mean I don't care. But it's not my time. Nobody asked me. So I'm staying right here with you. Can't you see? Just 'cause I'm dead, it doesn't mean you can walk all over me. Just 'cause I'm dead, it doesn't mean that I'm not here or there. But it's not my time. I was only halfway through. Well, I'd only got started in truth. Well, there's so much more left to do. I can still feel sunshine, and I can still feel the rain, and the wind blows through me on its way to you, and I can raise the sails again. Cold and you're over. Well, you're over and you're down. And friends that you've chosen, and the ties that you've woven, will they no longer hold you? I'll be around. You're up now, and you're bolder. Well, you're bolder 'cause you're crowned. The money, you blow it. In your kingdom, you'll outgrow it. When no one wants to know it, I'll be around. Come to me now, with your head hanging down, with your arms round my knees, and your tears fall to my feet, and you're asking me, please, 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 please. years since I walked into a mountain. It's been years since I slept out in the cold. Here's to the one that got away, and the one that won't ever let you go. If I see a mountain coming, I'll be sure to let you know. Since I received a red letter, it's been years since I saw a fork in the road. I took a turn for the worst or the best. There's no turn unstoned. If I see a mountain coming, I'll be sure to let me know. There's a place reserved for us below and above. It's time to burn the ration books of love. How would you feel if there's a gulf that exists between us that we can cross? Hold out your hand and start. I will shake it. This small place is all there is, books of love. How will you feel?
That's Peter Alexander Jobson with Guy Garvey, and please, 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 2 more tunes to come. That particular song has been a sort of, it's since the record came out, has been, I've listened to it over a few times because it's something of a source of comfort, which it seems to be what it's designed to be. Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, I describe it as a hand on the shoulder from your best friend.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful number. And well done on a brilliant album. Worth the wait. I know you've been busy doing other bits and pieces while this album has been taking shape over however long it's been, 15 years or something. But has there ever been a time you thought it's not going to happen?
No.
Good. Is that due to encouragement from friends and cajoling?
It's just a massive ambition, which I inherited from my father. No, I knew it was going to happen. Yeah.
Patience is a virtue.
It is. And you know, you get the chance to do something, so you've got no question about it. These things happen, in my experience, sort of rarely. I Am Clute. And I Am Clute's first album, we had all our lives to make that album, the way I think about it, the first one. And then after that, we toured and we played and we went in and recorded. And from that moment, it's a snapshot of kind of where you are, a much more condensed thing, a smaller period of time to draw from, I find. And then we found ourselves in a position where we had nothing. We'd hit a wall, and we had nothing, and that again was like a rejuvenation. Yeah. So we had the time, we had nothing, so we drew from it, and without making the record that we wanted to, all the other concerns had fallen aside. So you had that time again. So it's happened twice. I learned a lot from that. And then with this, so I was very happy to be patient and take my time because I wanted it to be unquestioning, because it's me singing and I'm the front of this. It was always Johnny and Clute, you know. So for me, it's always been about live for me. So what I learned when I came to Manchester was if you are fraudulent in any way, people's detectors, they know. So it was very important for me to have the reasons why and have it sort of, as far as I was concerned, bulletproof so I could perform it. So I wasn't in a hurry.
With records, often the press release has some sort of story to go with it, and you know, quite often it's like 3 months in a bothy. No offence to those who made a record after spending 3 months in a bothy.
Do you know, Gideon, you've read more press releases than I have, but does that come up quite often? Yeah,
I don't know whether I honestly don't. I don't think that has ever come up. So that is not. So I look forward to having a press release where the record was conceived after 3 months in a bothy.
I thought it might have been Stuart Lee's first album. Yeah.
But as for the story which goes with this, it's one of those. It's jaw dropping, really. Did you want to just give us a brief summation of it?
Are you talking about the part
Yes.
where?
Yes, we're talking about the village and the incident when you're 12.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me being very similar to Jacques Brel.
Well, that comes later on. The Jacques Brel and Jake Thackeray, that will come later on. But yeah, this bit.
Do you know? It's important not to have any regrets, isn't it? But I have. This has appeared in this press release, and it did happen. Yeah. As a young man, I was naughtily smoking in the sand dunes with my very good friend, and to our surprise, we set the sand dunes on fire, and the wind blew and it went up. And then the golf course caught on fire as well, which I wasn't that bothered about, and I was probably quite, proud of it, And then we got on our bikes and we cycled. Well, I say cycled. I mean, we went for it madly up the beach as far as we could get. And we stayed on the top of Bracken Hill until it got dark, and then we cycled back into the village. And we'd unleashed a big fire. There was nobody hurt or anything. It was an accident, but it was. I can see how the analogy with the whole burning thing now, with the title of the album, Burn the Ration Books, and this big fire. I don't know about you, but is there things that's happened in your childhood that have been quite massive, but they didn't have so much of an impact on you?
Well, I wouldn't tell you.
No, exactly.
And I won't put it in the press release either.
This is why Mark and I we're currently laying down on couches and undergoing this particular. I presume. Well, there are things, aren't there? But this has been with you, and now, now it's we write about it in the song as well, on the album as well. And I do, and it's out and about. Yes, and it ends a mystery. Some people wonder what on earth happened that night, but there you go.
Yeah, it must have been really formative. Yeah, it was, and I think the thing for me was that I thought I was really fast on my BMX, but I wasn't as fast as my mate because he was old enough to go to jail.
There's a lesson there.
I don't know about 3 months in a bothy, but I mean, but you put your mini films on social media, and from your studio.
Yeah,
and it looks like the nutty professor's kind of man cave, if you don't mind me saying. I mean, there's all manner of weird things going on in there. So do you just lock yourself in there and work away? Is that where you put everything together?
Yeah. When I go to London, I don't go in the house or see my partner Liz or my children. I just go directly to the garage and I just stay in there. So yeah, it's a garage studio. And yeah, I've so Ben Christophers, who produced this album, he is a collector of unusual instruments. And he writes and he produces, and he's amazing. He's a kindred spirit. He made my imagination sort of manifest, But he collects all these crazy things, like a phono fiddle, like a one-stringed violin with a trumpet coming out the bottom of it to make the sound.
Right.
They were it was like a 1930s, 1920s novelty thing. Sounded awful, But if you layer it up like 100 times,
it sounds really bloody awful.
Yeah, so awful that actually you start to enjoy it, and so
is it on the record?
Well, it's this song, the Burn the Ration Books of Love, right at the start of it's got this big orchestrator thing. It's like, so that is a phono fiddle recorded about 100 times by Ben Christophers.
I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it?
Wow, okay.
So yeah, I sit in my garage and I ruminate, and I knew that I would do social media because It's so important, isn't it?
You've kind of reinvented it for our generation, I feel.
A saviour.
It's so slow.
You've done it. Well done. Good.
So Guy has entered the conversation now. And so,
ladies and gentlemen, Guy Garvey.
Oh, hello. Good evening.
And just to say, I mean, what's the best piece of advice that Guy Garvey has ever given you, either in life or in your show business, Michael?
Well, Guy's the executive producer on this record, and every single bit of music since I met Guy when I came to Manchester, every bit of music I've ever done, Guy's my sounding board on it.
Right.
And vice versa. Yeah. He's mine, yeah.
So I've had many brilliant bits of advice, but I look back at a photograph of when Guy and I sat in his house in Manchester, it was about 15 years ago, with a board of all the notes and the song titles and what to do with them. And one of the really brilliant bits of advice was the song we've just played, that Please, 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 it didn't have this in it.
Oh.
Right, it didn't have this. Didn't have that.
Right.
And so it was really boring. And Guy was like, hey, you need something in there, you know. You see, and it needs
A
to
good
be
bit.
What you need is a good bit, right? And he was like, a bit of melody. And so I did that. And so that, for one, although there's many great bits of advice, that springs to mind.
The extraordinary thing was, because I remember it like it was yesterday, which is unusual. But 15 years ago, we got a great big roll of paper that I had in the house and made Pete's solo album. That was the conversation all night. And he had the title, he had the titles of the songs, he had the sleeve design in his head, he had the inner sleeve of the vinyl, which contains a fabulous image. And this is something I've never seen before. 15 years later, it materialised exactly as it is on the notes. It's like, I've never done that. And anything I've been involved with has morphed during the process and ended up becoming something else. But Peter had the whole thing in his head for 15 years. It's extraordinary.
Do you know, I think that's the benefit of just being completely on your own. Although we talked about the music, but the visual images and the title of the album I had originally, and it was the visuals that I thought of that informed a lot of the songs.
I think you've been very kind, or rather very humble. I think it shows a singular vision as an artist. I think it's extraordinary, because several times, I'd say, don't you want to go over here? And he'd be like, no, I want to do this. And it was just, he knew what he wanted, and that's what he's made.
Well, it is. It's a brilliant record. It really is.
Are you ready to play another couple of numbers from it, please?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one going to be?
I think it's the guitar one, is it?
I believe it is. It's going to be Mountain, yeah?
Yeah.
Peter Alexander Jobson and Guy Garvey in session here on Six Music with Mountain. There's one more number to come for which Peter needs to, I almost said reassemble, but no, you need to move to the piano.
It's worth mentioning that the piano was tuned on Monday morning. We've had Eros, it rarely gets used, that piano, but Eros Char was in on Monday night, did it proud, and you're doing the same tonight, so there you go.
I'm very grateful, thank you. There's nothing like playing a real piano.
Well, I did tell you that it was brought up, actually, for Mark Radcliffe and I from the drama studio into Studio 5 at BBC North for Sparks to do a session on. So there you go.
I'm honoured, and I'm channeling Sparks.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful stuff. Peter Alexander Jobson with Guy Garvey and Burn, the Ration Books of Love. That's the LP. The next show is tomorrow night, isn't it? Wax and Beans in Bury.
Wax and Beans in Bury, yeah.
Okay. And will there be more shows on the horizon at some point?
Yes.
Good.
I'm going to be doing some gigs in February around UK and a bit around Europe as well. So yeah.
Well, fantastic news, and thanks for both of you for dropping by and such a wonderful session.
Thank you, Gideon. Thank you, Mark. Your support has means so much to me.
Wonderful,
Appreciate it.
man.
Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure, guys. Thank you.